episode 86 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And we are joined by three awesome guests today. It's a lot of people on this podcast. I love it. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're from?
Well, we are the BroTrio channel. We're three brothers from Louisiana. I'm Daniel.
I'm Aaron. I'm Scotty.
And we just like to talk about games, and we're invited on this podcast, and we're pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have y'all. Y'all are like the first people. You know, we were producing a lot of episodes with just absolutely no one really seeing it or responding, and that still happens a lot. But you guys were like the first ones that I saw that were commenting, so I was like, hey, someone likes what we're doing, and I appreciate that.
That's always a good feeling,
Yeah.
especially when
Especially for the smaller channels like us. Yeah,
we don't get a lot of comments, so when we do, we try to respond.
Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. So I've been wanting to get you guys on here at some point ever since then, and we've just recently started. We just recently had Chad and Holden from Respawn Aim Fire, which was an awesome episode of this podcast. I think everyone should check out. And I'm glad to have you guys on here. And honestly, I think y'all are here for a pretty good episode as far as news. There's some potentially crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, big week.
Yeah. Seems like a dream, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of rumors. It's a very rumor-heavy episode. But if everything comes to pass, this could be some crazy stuff. Well, we're going to get started with just some games that we've been playing, which... for me, this is the first time I've had a new game for a while. I just recently beat Persona 5, so that took a lot of my time. But yeah, that was a lot, but it was really good. But today I actually got Metro Exodus. I kind of fell into the marketing hype for this game. I had watched a friend of mine play Metro 2033, and I'd seen some of is it Last Light or First Light, whatever the most recent one. I forgot.
Remember. It's Last Light.
Okay, Last Light, yeah.
So
I vaguely knew... Yeah, I have too. And I liked 2033 when I saw it. And just the marketing for this, I just thought it looked really cool to have this post-apocalyptic thing in a Russian setting. I thought that's kind of unique, you know?
I found out recently they're based on books. I wasn't aware of that, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a series of books and the author is very like open to like it's weird. They've like kind of compared it to The Witcher, where the author is like very antagonistic against the video games, but the Metro very, very much. But the Metro guy is like, yeah, I love it. Like, just go crazy, which is cool. So I bought this game. I bought into the hype, and I just kind of wanted a new game to get. So I picked this one up, and I'm kind of in a love-hate relationship with it, to be honest. I really like a lot of the things that this game is going for, and at its best, it's like reminding me of playing Fallout back in the day, and it's like kind of a very different version of that. It's kind of more serious, and I generally like really like the world that you're in, and like kind of talking to the different characters, and I feel like the survival elements of it are just enough to be cool and engaging, but not so much to where it's in your way all the time. But when you're actually playing the minute-to-minute gameplay, there are just a lot of bugs in this game.
Fun. And
a lot of just, I mean, anytime I go into like a dungeon area, I just know that I'm just gonna like I've gotten stuck on something where I've had to restart the game about like 5 times.
Oh man, those are the worst kind of bugs. Like there's the fun ones, and then there's the horribly annoying ones.
Right, yeah, and I've definitely gotten the ones where it's like I just feel like I'm stuck in this area, and I'm like, please God, just let me get out of this corridor, you know. And I don't know. There's just certain elements of it. I think that this game kind of went like its ambitions were higher than I feel like it was able to accomplish in a lot of ways. I still think it's a fun game, and I honestly do. Like, I recommend it, just not at $60.
Oh yeah,
that's the biggest thing for me.
I mean, that sounds about right. pretty much, I remember not hearing too much about this game, and then like the big controversy of like the Epic Store exclusive happened, and I heard a lot about it. And then it kind of came out, and I didn't hear too much about it, and that's typically the reaction I seem to like, get whenever a game is like good, but not really $60 good.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help that it was overshadowed by games that are actually bad.
That's true.
Yeah, February's been a rough month for like, I don't know, a lot of between Anthem, Crackdown, and Jump Force, and Metro in a way.
Far Cry.
And Far Cry. Like, all of these are just kind of like, yeah, we probably won't be talking about them in a few months.
It is a good month for shadow dropping Battle Royale games.
Yeah, apparently.
Really a very good month for that. Yeah, I don't know. That's like, I don't know if it's troubling that all the like $60 full price, full made games are failing while the free to play one is doing really well, but that one's just better made.
Yeah.
It's a lot better made. So yeah, I mean, I would recommend, like I said, if you're interested in Metro Exodus, I do think it does a lot of things right, and I think the story is cool. The voice acting could be a whole heck of a lot better, and there's just certain elements of it that could be better. But this is a Black Friday game, or
there'll be a patch out by then. So
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't be the guinea pig like me, but overall, I'm not like completely bummed about it. I'm gonna keep picking away at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's about it. Well, Jeffrey, you've played some more Jump Force. I don't know if you guys have gotten into Jump Force. Jeff is a huge anime guy.
Yep. I'm the
Scotty's our resident anime guy here.
Yeah, I was real tempted by it, and then I was like, it's probably not great, so I'm not gonna get it.
You know what? You are correct. But
like the cast of characters looks really interesting.
Yeah, like Anime Smash Bros. I kind of lost any interest when they were like, you make your own characters. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah. Luckily, at least as far as fighting, you don't have to have the character in there. Well, obviously, you got to do in the story mode. But having fun with this game, a lot of the problems it has are ones I was expecting going in. But then it came with some problems that I wasn't expecting, like long load times and just kind of half-assed, I guess, cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. And not as much voice acting and stuff as I'd like. But, yeah, last week I talked about it, went kind of deep in there, so I'll keep this one a lot more brief. I was only like 3 chapters in out of 9 last week. I done another 3 chapters, so I'm in chapter 6. The story definitely is picked up as far as, hey, there are more cutscenes with actual voice acting in it. That's nice. More missions and stuff where you see characters actually interacting kind of like you would want out of this game. So I'm feeling better about it. It's still hard to recommend this game for
full
60
price, yeah.
Yeah, full price unless you are very diehard. But even then, this game screams it'll probably go down to at least $20 in the next month or so. So,
yeah.
Dang.
I mean, it's just. I'm guessing. Have y'all seen any streams of it? The load times.
I've seen a few. Yeah, the load times that seems to be a problem, like pretty wide across all games right now.
Yeah. It's a theme of the month.
I forgot to mention it, but that's also a thing in Metro Exodus. I absolutely dreaded dying because it legitimately takes like 2 minutes to get back every single time.
Wow.
It's
But
rough.
at least for Jump Force, there was a patch after we recorded last week, and load times are definitely better. They're still not great, far from perfect or great, but it's definitely a lot better than it was a week ago.
Yeah, that's at least they're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of load times, we've been playing Anthem the past day or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Awesome. I was really hoping, because neither me or Jeff really play Anthem or any game like it, so I was really hoping you guys had. Yeah.
It's one of those.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, the gameplay is really fun, and everything else is bad.
Well, I wouldn't say bad.
Yeah,
Well, the
Like,
story's pretty interesting so far.
The out of the suit thing feels a little like half-assed
that feels quarter-assed.
because
Quarter-assed. I love that.
It's literally just a dot for the reticle of where the center of the screen is, and that's it. And you have your option between slow and kind of slow for the walking speed, and that's it's pretty like the whole Fort Tarsis place, which is like the
hub.
central hub area, is just almost worthless because you can do most of the stuff in your like pause menu anyways. So you kind of like, I mean, you have conversations with people, but they don't really seem to further the plot that much. Granted, we're on like the 4th mission, so you know,
Yeah, we got a long way.
there's
to
a long
go,
ways to go. But
Yeah.
at the moment, my biggest complaint about the games isn't the load times or the empty hub world, really, but like we've been playing with a full squad of 4 people, all with different javelins and everything. So we're pretty like versatile and everything. But the game's just been like super easy.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's a first
Okay.
couple of missions thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I run the Colossus, and that's the tank class, and nothing has ever downed me once except we ran into a big secret, big bad boss at one point that we shouldn't be near. And
Yeah,
he
he
took
took
me-
us like
yeah.
2 times.
Yeah,
We
it's
all
like a
did our-
wandering map boss.
yeah, we all did our supers on him, and it didn't do a thing, kind of boss. And yeah, he downed me pretty easily, but everyone else just can't touch me. I don't know what the lighter classes' experiences are, but it's been a cakewalk so far. I mean, I guess we'll just start playing on hard mode to
Yeah,
improve.
that is the
but-
option. But yeah, I
At
don't
least they
know.
let you change mid-game.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
good.
every level you choose
Yeah, thank
what
God.
what level you want, and the harder difficulty, the rarer the loot, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really
I
fun.
mean-
It's just got it's really got to grow before it is a $60 game.
Mhm.
'Cause-
That's the biggest problem I've seen. I think a lot of people are like, some of these things would be more acceptable if it was an early access version of the game or something like that. But just the fact that it was a $60 product, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm already pretty much done with the content, or you get to the section that I know y'all probably aren't at, but whatever, I forget the name of the section, that apparently the game just gets straight up padded for time and really
It's called,
grindy.
like,
I've heard they fixed that, but we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
I've heard
I mean, so
because it was a grinding area essentially. Before you could continue the story, you had to gather 100 strawberries or whatever. It's not strawberries, but you know what I'm saying. But
it's actually
it didn't-
Celeste. It's a Celeste crossover. We just
It
didn't know it.
didn't. It didn't count your progress in what you're gathering until that mission. So you had to start from scratch. But supposedly now, whatever we gather throughout the whole game is going to count toward it. So when we get there, we might already be done with that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely good.
So supposedly all these problems reviewers have, the day one patch kind of handled mostly, from what I can gather.
Yeah, I mean, Anthem is not a perfect game by any means, but I do feel like it got a bad rap for getting the review copies out before this patch that fixed everything. So
Yeah.
they couldn't, they reviewed the game as they did, and it was accurate for what it was, but then it changed day one into something better.
That's the problem with these games of service.
Yeah.
Even I'm sure Jump Force is going to run into this. Not sure how games of service-y that is, but it's going to be a whole different game in December of this year.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Anthem, yeah, that'll be the case. Jump Force, I imagine, is not going to be much more than them doing little patches that help with the load times and little bugs and stuff like that, and add more characters. Probably not going to be a complete overhaul like Anthem. But if it is, I'm for it.
Yeah, I mean, but Anthem is definitely I think it's gonna be neither me or Jeff really played Destiny, but when you follow Destiny news, I feel like people one week will be saying, yeah, Destiny's terrible, they don't understand their fans, the content is way too light, it's bad, it's not for us, and then 3 weeks later, Destiny's the best thing ever.
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
it's constantly in flux. And right now Anthem's coming out with a 60 Metacritic right now, and it very easily, I would not be surprised at all if we get to October and it's hey, Anthem is what you always wanted it to be now.
it might
Yeah,
be. And
yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't do Bungie. Or not Bungie. I'm sure this is more Activision's thing, but like Destiny did, where everyone loves the game as soon as the $40 expansion comes out.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to pay another $40 for this.
Right, that was the problem with Destiny, is the narrative got to be yeah, it's fixed now, but you have to pay $40 to get the fixed version, and it's on
Oh,
top of your 60.
It's what everyone wanted? Oh, okay, here's a sequel you got to pay more money for.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind of
like-
exhausting.
To sum it up, basically, like Destiny, the plot is go kill these aliens. And so far, Anthem is just like go kill the 8 aliens because they kidnapped somebody. So
Yeah.
like, there's a slightly
more
more
depth
reason to
to
do
see.
it, but there's still
Yeah.
pretty light on
Yeah.
the plot.
Yeah, I get
Which
what
is
you're
kind of
saying.
hard to see from a BioWare game, honestly.
Yeah, I think I've heard from some people just kind of reading some of the criticism, like the people don't care for the main story, but some of like the I guess side stuff or side stories like talking to people in the main town hub or whatever is good, but there's not enough of it.
Yeah, so far that's pretty accurate. But again, we're on
It's just-
like 4th mission.
I mean, it's a bummer that you'd think a BioWare game story would be the first thing everyone's talking about, and maybe we'll get there eventually. But I don't know. It's definitely probably not the launch they were looking for all around. And there was the weirdness. I feel like that initial release, like before that day one patch, should have that was basically treated like a full release because it kind of was. I mean, people were paying $60 and getting the game, but it obviously just was not ready to be getting reviews and getting that
Right.
treatment. Yeah. All right. Well, have y'all played anything else or any more Anthem talk?
Recently finished Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, Jeff. There's someone else.
Daniel platinumed it. I have not, but we both beaten the story, and Aaron doesn't care either way about Kingdom Hearts, so
I'm going to give it a shot
Derby
one
here.
day. I never have played the first one yet, so
hey, you got off Destiny Island though.
yeah, I did. I beat the tutorial.
I played the first one when I was really little, and I don't remember much about it other than the music was really good. But
Remember darkness, light, and keys and stuff.
and clown shoes.
Yes.
Everyone's wearing
Yeah,
clown
Pretty
shoes.
much. That's pretty much it.
And also, I've went back and looked at Sora's Kingdom, like the original game. His model, he's straight up wearing a romper. It's straight up a romper.
And a lot of zippers.
And a lot of zippers. It's not very practical. But what'd you think about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh man, I loved it. I thought it was story-wise the best one. Combat-wise, I don't think it's the best one. I think 2 still had the better combat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mainly because like the Keyblade transformations, although they're amazing, they really they don't happen too often, and they are optional to use them. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, you get the triangle commands to do them, and like in Kingdom Hearts 3, it's just Keyblades and attractions and limit breaks and stuff like that with Donald and Goofy and your world party member. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, you would use it and have like enemy specific ones. Like, for example, you'll be fighting like 100 Heartless, and there's these ones with like this beam, and Sora will grab them and then wipe out a bunch of other Heartless with that Heartless's beam. And it was just like, I don't know, lacking in that aspect of it. That's why, because like, I don't know, just the transformations were cool, but they got kind of tired pretty quick, I guess. Like
Yeah,
it was
I
just
can get
kind of
that.
rinse and repeat more often than not.
Yeah, I can get that. Plus,
Amazing.
a lot of those transformations, all that stuff, feel very overpowered. The game just overall
That's
is
the other thing
easy.
is this game was like super easy.
Yeah.
The main thing I didn't like was that there was no Final Fantasy at all, except a statue of Cloud and Orin.
Yeah.
That was
You
it.
got Dissidia
No.
in the Toy Story world.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I was
yeah,
about
yeah,
to say.
yeah,
There's
and a
this-
picture. We got a picture. No Sephiroth fight.
What was that
Nothing.
fake trailer?
Oh yeah,
Yozora.
the-
Virum Rex.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Final Fantasy, but it's
Yeah,
not called Final Fantasy.
The story was
Yeah.
cool. The combat was cool.
It's versus 13,
it-
obviously.
Yeah,
That'd be
Basically.
it did have the best worlds out of any Kingdom Hearts, I would say. Overall, like the Pirates world is my favorite in Kingdom Hearts history.
Yeah, that world's great. I like the exploration.
We actually, we already told it out. We haven't come out with the video yet, but we did. We were tallying up our top 10 Kingdom Hearts worlds, and then I beat it, and then Scotty beat it, and then we had to go back and like rework our list because some of those levels ended up just being like too good to pass up. Like we had to
Oh, yeah.
put them in the list.
Yep, definitely a big jump up as far as the worlds. And
And they're
again,
huge too.
yeah, makes sense considering the last mainline one was on a PS2 and all the other ones have been on handhelds.
Yeah. And they also have more like interaction with the characters. Like you feel more enveloped in the story than just, oh, hey, Aladdin, Jafar's back. Oh, well, let's go get him.
Yep.
Like,
Some of those
you
worlds
actually-
definitely. Then there's some weird ones like Frozen that scream Disney intervention.
Yeah, they doing the whole song was a little weird.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I thought Sora and Donald were going to join in, but
Oh, I
sadly,
wish-
that didn't happen.
I wish it-
I would have
nobody-
given anything to hear Goofy sing "Let It Go." I mean, that's just all I needed in
I
my
want to hear
life.
Goofy and Donald sing it together as a ballad.
Oh my god, yeah. Whoever's the voice actor for Donald's like his vocal cords would probably be destroyed if he tried to sing the entirety of "Let It Go" in Donald's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Jeff, there's other people that love that game that you can
Yay.
talk to about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I made a whole 40-minute video before 3 summing up the entirety of the series, and it was more research than I did on any research paper in college. It was a lot. And
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, especially considering the mobile game.
it was like 10 games I had to pull lore from and research and collaborate and put it in the right timeline, and it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun to make it.
I bet.
Yeah, that would be props to you. That's a lot. Well, all right. Y'all have anything else y'all been playing?
Ever since that Direct, the Nintendo Direct, when they shadow dropped Final Fantasy 9,
Yeah,
I got on
did you get into
that
it?
hard.
Me
Like,
too.
That day I bought it, $20. It's mine, and then it was it's a lot better than I remembered because I don't remember the story being that expansive and kind of deep for feelings wise. But they also added some new features that they didn't really advertise. Because
okay.
they have you can go into settings and 3 are irreversible. Like you can set it to have infinite money, max out your level, and I forget what the other one is, but you can max something else out, and those are irreversible. But if you pause it, you can make it higher speed. You can do automatic battling. Make it so you automatically recover HP and do 99 damage with every hit. There's a lot of stuff they didn't advertise, and it's 8 new features. But it's pretty awesome.
Cheese your way through the game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you just
But no,
want
that's-
the story, just set it on God mode essentially, and you can obliterate almost everything with one hit.
Oh,
I mean, that's especially cool for people who've played the game before and just kind of want to get that dose of nostalgia, but don't have the time to actually sit through,
Sit through a Final Fantasy.
Right.
Good lord.
Right. I mean, that's kind of where, my favorite Final Fantasy is 7, Jeff's favorite is 10, and that's mostly just because that's where we started with both of those. And I've played, a decent amount of them throughout, but I have a lot of holes, and 9 is one of my Final Fantasy holes. I think it is for Jeff, too. He hasn't played any of it. And I've definitely always been super interested in it, yeah.
Mine is my third favorite, I would say. First is 7, second is 10, and then it's 9.
Yeah, that's right. 7's your favorite. Yeah.
I mean, it's just almost factually the best one. I gotta say.
Jeff, I can't argue with these people. They're speaking. They're speaking.
I can't either because I haven't played the game.
10 gets cool points because making the main character a time mage is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love 10 as well. 7 and 12 are my favorite. I think 12 is very underrated, but there's a lot of them I need to get to.
Bad experience with 12 when I first got it.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
know you didn't earn money from killing monsters. So I don't, or something weird like that. It was something weird where I wasn't earning money, so I was like, how am I not buying these weapons? And I got in the middle of a dungeon, and all my weapons were too weak to do anything at that point. And
I mean,
my
stuff
friend
like
was
12
yeah.
is hard. 12 is
Yeah.
definitely a very hard game.
And my friend was like, you have to sell your treasures to get money. I was like, well, okay. And I couldn't get out of the dungeon, so I gave up on it and never went back. On the Switch, I'm thinking about getting it again now that I know better.
I like it a lot. I mean, some of it's nostalgia, but I legitimately think the combat system, like the gambit system, it's really weird but it works super well. Like once you can like lock on things, so like this character will heal you when you're at this health, or attack this type of enemy whenever you see that. You can kind of set the game up to where it almost plays itself, which sounds more fun than it which is more fun than it sounds. But I don't know, I just really like the system in that game, and it's basically like Final Fantasy cross Star Wars, which I'm very, very into.
Piqued my interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's straight up like basically copying Star Wars. If you play that game, it's like beat for beat, and there's just like, oh yeah, that's Darth Vader basically, and those are like like flying ships. It's pretty fun. I like it. Alrighty, well Jeff, I think it's time to get into the news. We have a lot of good ones. News jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jangle. Okay,
That was I feel like I have to explain it. Whenever we did our first episode, we got to our news segment, and I was like, I guess we should probably have some jingle for this, and then Jeff just said jingle, jingle, jangle, and then that has stuck for the remaining 85 episodes.
I've listened to a few of y'all's while I was at work. I remember hearing that. Never knew the backstory.
It's not a very great backstory, but I just thought it was a funny thing to say jingle, jingle, jangle for 85 episodes. It's pretty good. All right, Jeff, what we got?
Okay, we're going to start out with some sadder news.
The saddest news, Jeff.
Yes, this comes from, I took this from Business Wire. I think it's just pretty much Nintendo's press release. But after more than 15 notable years at Nintendo of America, and nearly 13 as its president and COO, Reggie Fils-Aime will retire. His last day with Nintendo will be April 15th. Doug Bowser, Nintendo of America's current Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, will then succeed Reggie as President of Nintendo of America. Quote, Nintendo owns a part of my heart forever, Fils-Aime said. It's a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredibly talented people I've worked with, for the opportunity to represent such a wonderful brand, most of all, to feel like a member of the world's most positive and enduring gamer community. As I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor. This is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to more time with my wife, family, and friends. End quote. Another quote. It has been my great fortune to work with and be mentored by Reggie for 4 years at Nintendo of America, Bowser said. And rest assured, we will continue to build on his work to evolve and expand our brand, furthering Nintendo's global mission of creating smiles. There are millions more of those to come. End quote. Fils-Aime started at Nintendo of America in 2003 as Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing and became its President and COO in May 2006. His time with Nintendo began during the Nintendo GameCube and Game Boy Advance era. His leadership on Nintendo's largest territory expanded the audience for Nintendo's products as a phenomena like Nintendogs, Brain Age, Wii Sports, and Wii Fit brought millions of players to the world of video games. Fils-Aime management led to record-breaking sales for products like the Nintendo DS, Wii, Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo Switch systems. At the same time, he communicated and innovated new product features to a mass audience via his strong and affable personality, making him a favorite of members of the video game industry and Nintendo fans.
We'll just talk about him, and then we can get to the bell. Yeah. This kind of hit me harder than I thought it would, to be honest.
Yeah, my body wasn't ready for that news.
No, absolutely not.
I'm glad he's not in bad health, and that's why he had to leave, of course. But I mean, back when Iwata passed away, that hit me harder, of course, because he's just straight up passed away, you know.
Yeah,
but
really sad.
It's out of nowhere. It seems like. I wonder how long Nintendo's been prepping for this, you know, because it can't just be like he put out the Twitter video and then everyone else was like, "Well, crap, you should have told us, Reg."
So he hijacked the account and a camera, being like, "Hey, I'm retiring. Deal with it."
I think they hired that guy to be the president just because his name's Bowser.
I mean, obviously,
it is too perfect. I mean, I said in our text chat, I was like, "Bowser won, you guys."
I wonder if he's gonna try to. I know he's not gonna try to emulate Reggie because you can't. But I wonder if he's gonna do the same goofy skits and pop out an E3, having everyone cheer and ready for the next thing Reggie says that becomes a meme or anything like that. I don't know how much he's going to embrace the silly side that Reggie did is what I'm getting at, but I think he kind of has to.
I think he will, because I don't know too much about... I've heard his name here and there, but don't know too much about him. But someone, when all this posted, and Bowser being president, posted a picture when he was first joined Nintendo in his office. You see in the background on his shelf a Nintendo or a Mario and Luigi plushie tied up by a GameCube cord.
Yeah, and all of the other plushies behind him are like Bowser minions, like Goombas and Koopas and stuff.
I saw a picture of him wearing the wedding cap that Bowser, the top hat that Bowser wears. I've seen him have a shirt that said Team Bowser. I'm not sure if that was with the top hat or not, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is he had like a Letterman jacket that said Team Bowser? In the back
he seems to embrace the whole "his name is Bowser" thing,
which you should.
He needs to.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to be a plus. I mean, I'm sure he got hired because he's very good at his job, but then there's the added bonus that your name's Bowser. You're gonna be in here.
Yeah.
But
I heard somewhere he was basically in charge of the Switch marketing in this section of the world, so like he's good at that.
Yeah, that is a vast
absolutely.
improvement in Wii U marketing.
Well, there was marketing.
Yeah. I have this. It's like a tinfoil hat theory. I'm not sure if anyone else has said it. I think the Wii U, because the Switch wasn't ready, I think the Wii U was put out to fail, is my theory, just like so they could have something out there. I don't know.
I think it was a beta test for the Switch.
It almost seems like they didn't even try to get it in people's homes. You know what I mean?
I think it became obvious right away that this wasn't going to take off.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's a big tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Probably not true, but it's just like there were no commercials, no anything.
I mean, I think it's very obvious the Switch is where they ultimately wanted to be, and especially in hindsight, the Wii U really feels like a weird stepping stone to the Switch.
Especially
now.
Going back to play it, like it feels like a Fisher-Price toy compared to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just feels so clunky. And I remember when it came out, I was like, "Man, this feels awesome." But now I'm just like, "Ew."
And it was a shame because there was so many amazing games that just kind of got stuck on the.
Well, and now most of them are on the Switch.
Yep. So
honestly, World and Pikmin 3, I think, is always the notable ones at least.
And Tokyo Mirage Session, smaller one, but it needs a second chance at life.
Yeah,
there's a place in Jeff's heart. But yeah, just on Reggie, it was one of these things that I really like. Reggie has kind of paved the way for Phil Spencer and Sean Layden, and just like, to be the guy that you like. He put a face to Nintendo, especially in America, in a way that they definitely just didn't have before. And it was like, I don't know, he just came on with personality immediately. That first thing when he's like, my name's Reggie, I'm about kicking ass, I'm about taking names, and we're about making games. I'm like, hell yes.
Nintendo, man, you can't say that. Like, President of Disney coming out and start cussing at people. And Reggie's great.
Yeah, it's legitimately like the memes are very funny. And, like, he obviously embraced all of that, but he was just an amazing figurehead for this. He got it. He got it, and he got like Nintendo. He was the face of Nintendo that you knew.
One of my favorite things he ever did was an interview. I believe it was with Pro Jared, and he said, "Now we've seen some of your videos, and you've been kind of critical of us in the past. I want you to think of the worst thing you've ever said about Nintendo and say it to my face." And Pro Jared was just, you could see the nervousness on his face. And he said, "Reggie, please."
I forgot about that.
Oh, that cracked me up so hard.
I mean, like, he's a CEO with a legitimate sense of humor and a legitimate awareness of.
Yeah. And he just towered over that guy too, so that didn't help his nervousness.
Yeah.
He's so large.
Yeah.
That kind of adds to his charm.
Purple pigment.
Honestly, though, like, that's the main thing, like, I would be worried about if I was this Bowser guy, is, like, Reggie has such a big legacy in the gamer community as being, like, the face of Nintendo, at least for the Americas and stuff. And he has, like, this huge presence anytime he's there. He's funny, yet also very respectful at the same time. Mm-hmm. And as like Scotty said, Bowser can't just try to emulate it.
Yeah,
because he'll come out just looking like he's trying too hard.
Yeah, he's got to be his own thing.
Yeah, he's just got to find his own footing. And, I mean, Reggie seems to be pretty confident that he can handle it. And I believe I saw that he is in the same job position Reggie was before he got promoted to NOA president.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah, it seems they had the same job titles, so. So from the business side, things should be fine, you would think. Yeah, just from the public outlook side, the fun meme side.
And I'm sure it'll take him a while to establish his brand and who he is. But
he's got to do like Reggie and embrace the memes, but not make them on purpose. Because when you try to make yourself a meme, it never works.
Like he can't come out and say, "My body is prepared."
Yeah. No,
it's different. You got.
I got faith in him because his name's Bowser, and he seems to be in good humor about it and everything.
I mean, that's a pretty good leg up as far as embracing the memes when your name is Bowser and you're president of Nintendo of America.
Yeah.
Like you already you're starting off at a pretty good place.
He should legally change his first name to Bowser.
Bowser.
I'm sorry, change his first name to Mario.
Okay.
To be funny.
I mean, to be fair, Mario's, I think, canonical name is Mario, so.
That's true. Change his first name to King. There we go. King Bowser.
I also do want to point out that I think the day this happened on Twitter, one of the trending terms was President Bowsette.
Something like that.
That. Something like that. Or David Bowsette or something was one of the trending
I hope the
terms.
internet doesn't take that one and run with it.
Yeah.
Some people did. I saw some fan art.
I'm sure they did.
I was going to say jokingly, if he really wants to win over the internet, just during E3, just come out in a Bowsette cosplay. That's all he needs to do.
Oh, no.
All right, let's move on, Jeffrey.
That's a...
Okay, now, probably the biggest thing.
The
this
juiciest
week.
news story, for sure.
Yep, and gonna preface this with, this is a rumor. Just keep that in mind.
Of course.
This comes from InRunCon from Game Informer. According to a report from outlet Direct Feed Games, an outlet that has a strong track record for rumors, especially centering around Nintendo, Microsoft and Nintendo are about to get together in a big way in the near future. Not only will some Microsoft games find their way to the Switch, but it looks like the entire Game Pass library might arrive via the magic of streaming. The report states that Microsoft is looking into publishing some of their catalog to the Switch in the form of actual ports. This is in no way strange for Microsoft, who has dabbled in things like lending out rare games on Nintendo systems and developing and publishing games on Nintendo consoles such as Minecraft. Microsoft's own developers like Ninja Theory and Obsidian are still self-publishing their games on the Switch and other systems as well. The game specifically mentioned by Direct Feed is Ori and the Blind Forest, a crown jewel in Microsoft's lower key publishing initiative.
And an amazing game that everyone should play.
I want to say this. I don't think they said necessarily Blind Forest in the video. I think they said Ori.
So just
they
the
must be
series
getting
in
at
general.
both.
Yeah.
Or something. Additionally, the report goes on to say that Microsoft will be leveraging their announced Project xCloud streaming service to bring Xbox One games to the Switch. While the Switch can't natively play, as a hypothetical example, Gears 5, it could stream it over the internet. This will be done through Game Pass, which allows players to subscribe to a service to access a Netflix-style library of games. In talking with our sources, it has been suggested that the announcement of Game Pass on Switch could come as soon as this year. I think that's good.
But, so, wow. I mean, if this is true, which is definitely all of this, like I said, rumor heavy, who knows. But if this is true, that would be insane. I mean, this means the Xbox Game Pass library that's already huge playing on the Switch, but that would also mean Halo Infinite. You could stream Halo Infinite on your Switch. I mean, it's just wild to think about.
Potentially have like a cross-play type situation where you can play Sea of Thieves on your Switch with someone who is playing on an Xbox One.
Oh, yeah. I definitely expect that kind of thing with those games.
Like, that would just be absolutely insane.
That would be the biggest shakeup I think this industry could see at this point. The only other bigger shakeup I can think of is if all three consoles converged into one. That's never happened.
Yeah, Sony's not going to let that happen.
No.
This is one of these, I can't exactly process if this is a good or a bad move. I just know it's a crazy move. But when I think about, there's already right now, there's really nothing getting me. I have a PlayStation 4 and a Switch. And I really have nothing compelling me to get an Xbox. I love the Game Pass service, and I love a lot of the things they're doing. But I really have no motivation to go out and actually buy their box because they just do not have the exclusive games and that kind of stuff. But
Xbox One is the best game system that I never play.
Right. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I legitimately, like, when people ask about like things, I think the Xbox for a lot of games is the best place to play. But overall, you know, I'm gonna have to have a Switch a Switch and a PS4 because of their exclusives. But Microsoft might get to a point where they don't care if I buy their box or not because I'm already giving them enough money through their services, and especially if they do start going on to Switch, like. If Xbox Game Pass is on Switch, I am 100% paying for Xbox Game Pass, and maybe that's enough for Microsoft. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a theory I heard before the latest E3 that Microsoft was getting out of the console game and just going to make software, and of course every company's had that rumor. I don't believe it, but this would be like a step in that direction, in my opinion. Is just put your games on everything else, except they're not doing it for Sony. But Sony doesn't play well with others anyway. But yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, Xbox, they're making all the right moves, but there's still no real reason to get one, you know. I'm not saying it's a bad system. It's a great third-party machine. And from what I can tell, it's online, at least judging by the 360 generation, it's still leaps and bounds over anything Sony's done, which PS4's online is way better than Sony's ever done before. But it's just, I mean, compare Crackdown 3 to God of War. I mean, why am I going to buy an Xbox?
Right, but
this game has to move it smart, in my opinion, if it's true.
Right, but I'm getting weird mixed messages from Microsoft because, like, if this is true, then this makes me think that, like, okay, they're going more towards being a service base. Like, most of their financial gain is coming through everyone being signed up for their different services. But then also at the same time, we're going to talk about it later, there's rumors about them releasing 2 different like new next-gen hardware boxes, like a streaming box and a normal box. So and they're like getting Ninja Theory, all these other developers to like kind of establish a core base of Microsoft Studios. I'm a little confused on what they want. Do they want to be a traditional console that they want me to go out and buy their Xbox and play Xbox games, or do they want me to just play their games on any place, or is it some weird mixture of both?
I think it's like either or, just whatever works for people. They just want people to use their services / products.
I mean, that's it. I haven't done the research really into this, but I think it's safe to say that the Xbox One is trailing pretty hard behind the PS4.
Yeah,
and,
it definitely is.
I think I saw the numbers somewhere a while back. I think PS4 was at 90 million, Xbox was about 40 million. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty significant gap. That doesn't mean it's selling poorly, but I think, you know, companies make a lot more money on software than they do on hardware, because hardware you buy once, you know. So maybe somehow it's more profitable to get their games everywhere they can than it is to necessarily have to have their box. I'm not sure the business side of that. It seems like
it's everyone loses money on their hardware, on their machines for like the vast majority of the time. Like PlayStation probably gotten to the point where it's. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, except for the Nintendo Wii, they made profit on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But like most of the time they don't. So it might not be that bad of a move for Microsoft to at least put, you know, they still have their box for people who want like the luxury experience and want to like be in that ecosystem. But to have another avenue of money, like right now Microsoft's not getting money from me, but with the Game Pass, even though I'm never going to buy their box, if Game Pass is on the systems that I am playing on, I'm giving them money. Mm-hmm. So it might not be that bad of a move. It's a crazy move, and it's an industry shakeup move. And we'll get to a point where, like, right now we're used to judging these companies' success based off like how many units they've sold. But that might just not be the case in the future with Microsoft.
Yeah, it might also be about brand awareness, because something that wasn't really talked about, which may have nothing to do with this or anything, that happened during the Inside Xbox thing a couple weeks ago, was they announced they changed the name of like their group of studio name from Microsoft Game Studios or whatever to Xbox Game Studios. So that way, now if this happens, when you open up Game Pass on your Switch, you'll see probably Xbox Game Pass. And then when you open up like Crackdown, you'll see Xbox Game Studios as well, getting the Xbox into your brain.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Because, I mean, 360 was king last generation, and I think they kind of expected that going in without even trying, kind of like PS2 and PS3 did. They were just, for lack of a better word, arrogant about it.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they were just automatically going to win and keep the market that they had. And when that didn't happen, it, like, you know, all that you can't trade in your game stuff, all that Connect mandatory stuff that everyone hated. And PS4 just came out and they were just like, hey, we don't do any of that. And they sold gangbusters because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well, they also learned from their mistakes of the PS3 and improved on them too.
yeah, after that, it was just like, what can we do now? Because PS4 has successfully buried us. What can we do to still somewhat be on top or somewhat compete?
Yeah, the other thing with this though, that this is another like if this is true, this is another very big step towards Microsoft going for streaming, and that being one of their central pillars going forward. And me and Jeff have long said, like, I don't know where you guys are or how your internet is, but like our internet is definitely not good enough for me to be streaming Halo Infinite, streaming games like this at this point and actually have a good experience. Like I don't feel like our infrastructure is quite there yet.
It's definitely
Ours is not.
Yeah.
The United States of America, most places would not be well equipped for that, I don't believe.
Right, and that's what I worry. Like, this sounds cool, but it's also like I'm probably never going to use this for most of these games because it's going to be a pretty bad experience trying to stream this intense game on my Switch. Mm-hmm. You know, I think we will get there eventually, but I don't think 2019 is when we're going to get there for a lot of people, including us. Yeah.
Right.
And that's part of the problem. You hear gaming media people talk about the streaming future, and it's like, yeah, that's easy for you to say in San Francisco when you have good internet. But we're in South Carolina. It's not the same, you know?
Yeah, like we're probably 10, 20 years away from Google Fiber coming here, so.
Right. Right. I don't know. This is fascinating to me. Like, I really, really... Microsoft has, like, made me so interested in the past... like year or two. Mm-hmm. I'm just fascinated. I don't know.
Right. Like, I mean, if it all works, it would be amazing. But if it doesn't, like, it could easily be like the best thing they ever did or the most colossal failure they ever attempted.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like,
I just hope
at the moment I can see it going either way easily.
I mean, honestly, I'd be psyched. Game Pass is $5 a month. Or something like that. It's not much. $10 a month, something like that.
Yeah.
And
you got a deal right now. You can get the first 2 months for $2.
Wow.
Jeff, don't you have it for 2 years right now?
Yeah. I actually have an Xbox in Game Pass. They had a sale during Black Friday where you could get a year for $60. So I got 2 of those because that's all I could get.
Nice.
You let us talk trash about Microsoft this long without saying anything, man. I didn't want to hurt your feelings or anything.
I mean, I think he's barely touched his Xbox.
Yeah, I don't play it that much, unfortunately. I played some for Crackdown.
I got one, and we've used it like once to play Gears 4.
Yeah.
We're very platform agnostic here, though. I will give trash to everyone.
Yeah,
equally.
they all deserve it sometimes.
Yes, they do.
But what I'm hoping is, I assume it's going to be the case. If, like, I have Game Pass, and let's say this comes out this year, hopefully that'll just carry over. I don't need to do a second weird... like Switch Game Pass or whatever. So I can at least test it out. And that'll be good for Darby if I can test it out.
Yes. Yeah. That's the other wrinkle here that, like, maybe it's for another time because I'm sure we're going to be talking about this for a long time to come. But I also wonder what's Nintendo's, what does Nintendo get for this? Because if you think about, if you have a game that is being sold on the Switch for Nintendo, and it's also on Game Pass, why would you buy it on the Switch? You would just play it through Game Pass, and like Nintendo's not getting that sale there. So
they're going to make you double dip, and Game Pass is only accessible if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
But then also at the same time that's just like $20 a year. That's just not even...
Well, I think it's also the fact, a big...
money.
I think one of the biggest criticisms of Nintendo has always been the third-party selection, and if they get Game Pass, they won't have all the newest games, but they'll have a lot bigger selection, and they'll have Microsoft's first-party lineup. So there'll be more people that might jump in on the Switch, and then that will lead to people buying more of their games.
Yeah.
They'd have, if they wanted to work that out somehow, I'm sure there's a way to make the games that are like Doom Eternal not available for its Game Pass Switch, so they can still get that sale. Maybe, I don't know if they'll do that or if they'll just be like, because people still like physical media and people still like to own it on that particular system, so they might just kind of test it out and see what happens first. I don't know what any ramifications of that would be, or if, of course, if this is even true.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like with the whole double dipping thing or getting on the Switch or Game Pass, I feel like there are too few games that would be on both, at least at the moment, for that to really matter too much.
Yeah, it's just in the future that could not be the case, and it's just like if I'm Nintendo, I'm worried that there's some game in the future that would have sold insane on my platform, but instead everyone's just getting it through this service.
I'm sure they're looking at the pros and cons, assuming this is all true.
Yeah.
So, but the most
I would want out of it is let Microsoft handle your online stuff, Nintendo. Just
please.
It's not your strong suit. Your strong suit is amazing single player games. It's just not great. It's only $20 a year, but it's just, I don't know. It's not cute anymore, Nintendo.
Yeah, but the most important thing is this can lead to Banjo and Smash, and that's all that truly matters.
That's the only thing that really matters. This has all just been a conversation leading up to Banjo and Smash.
Exactly. Glad we're all on the same
Bird and
page.
Bear. Let's go.
Also, since it's a rare thing, maybe the Battletoads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think Banjo's
honestly, I would.
Banjo would fit more.
Yeah. I know it won't happen, but I wouldn't really mind if, there's a rumor that Dragon Quest is going to be the second DLC character. If after that it's kind of just all Microsoft.
Oh my god, yeah.
That'd be insane. Microsoft has at least a couple characters.
But Jeff, we already saw the leak. We're getting Doom Guy and Steve.
Please no, Steve.
I think Minecraft will get representation. I'll believe Steve when I see it.
I think a Minecraft stage would be awesome. I just hope they don't do Steve, but a stage would be great. I mean, a stage, that's such a big property to be represented in there. I think that
Give
would
me
be
Banjo. Don't give. I've never even you guys might gasp when you hear this. None of us three have even played Banjo Kazooie, and I want him in.
I haven't played it, but that's like
Love
Jeff's
it.
childhood.
Like Banjo is like Dream Smash character. Like that's the biggest dream for me.
Obviously, for me, Cloud's in this game, so everything else is gravy.
Yeah. I still can't get over that reveal.
The Microsoft
dude,
that's more likely than the ones I want. So
Cloud was announced on my birthday. It was announced for Smash on my birthday. It's insane.
Yeah, and I know he said it's his favorite Final Fantasy game, but Final Fantasy VII is his favorite game.
Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. And then it was my birthday, and then Jeff sent me this text like, "Hey, Cloud was just announced for Smash," and I thought that he was joking. He sent me this YouTube video. I'm like, okay, what's this gonna be? This is gonna be some BS thing.
Yeah, when Brawl was
That's what I thought about Snake.
when everyone was speculating when
Yeah.
Brawl came out, I saw someone Cloud confirmed for Smash in the GameSpot forums, and they put a link, and it was literally a Cloud that they zoomed in on in the background of one of the stages.
Nice.
Nice. Appreciate it.
That was unbelievable. That was like the only more unbelievable one is one that wouldn't have never appeared on Nintendo. Like if they announced Kratos or something. That would have been the only more unbelievable one because Cloud.
I still
Cloud
boot up
technically
Smash
in
Bros
the-
and just stare at Cloud on the icon, being like, "What is this? Like, what
What is this
reality am I
game?"
in?"
Cloud technically being in Kingdom Hearts on Nintendo systems kind of qualified him. So
Yeah.
So far, everyone's appeared on a Nintendo system before Smash. But if they announce Master Chief or Kratos or whatever, that would be absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, to be fair to
Joker,
Master Chief and to Master Chief, his skin is in Minecraft on the Switch. Just saying.
Master Chief confirmed.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, let's move on to more Microsoft rumors.
Oh boy.
It just doesn't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, this is from Jeux Video. It's a French website. I'll spell it out. Jeux Video. And this summaries from Ice Eternal from Resetera. 2 Scarlet devices are going to be announced at this E3 according to job video. Of course, this is all rumors as well. Lockhart and Anaconda. Lockhart is an entry-level device, no disk drive, digital focus machine. Anaconda is a high-end device, priced similar to Xbox One X's launch price.
Whoever named these liked Final Fantasy VII as well.
Xbox should announce a disk drive-less Xbox One in the coming months, so I guess before E3. The launch is fall 2020. Halo Infinite is going to be a launch cross-gen title, and Ninja Theory's game is slated for early 2020.
I mean, honestly, none of this is really any different than what we had kind of heard rumored before.
Yeah.
That they were going. I mean, it seems clear at this point they're going to have 2 SKUs of whatever console this is. We've just seen too many rumors with that for it to not happen, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this sounds right. Again, like we said before, it's just going to be interesting, them having 2 different ways they're going with this. They're not fully committing to streaming or to not streaming. It's just kind of, you're going to have 2 SKUs. But having that like cheap box that's only streaming, but it's really cheap, that could be a very good entry point for a lot of people.
I can grab it.
Yeah, and the question is, how much cheaper is it?
Right.
Yeah, that is a big question, because for me, depending on how this whole Game Pass thing goes, like if Game Pass keeps on evolving and gets a bunch of games on it, I'll be more interested in, getting the next Xbox. And if they have like a diskless one that's cheaper, I'd probably go for that, because odds are with Game Pass, all my Xbox games will be digital anyway.
Right.
And I'm sure that's the case for a good number of people.
Yeah.
Talking about streaming, is Game Pass streaming or do you download them?
Either or. I think it originally just streaming, but at some point they added for at least most of the games you can download them. So I just download all the games that I get from it.
We were mostly talking about streaming, because I think in the rumor, the Switch specifically was just streaming.
Because it can't handle a lot of the games.
Right.
I'm hoping there are some games that they can handle. I know this would be probably a long process to decide which ones can and can't. You can download ones like Human Fall Flat, for instance, for example, because that one's already on the Switch. You can download that one. I'd like it if that was the case for some.
Yeah.
Or maybe like smaller games, so that way you could play like, I don't know, Celeste.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Celeste is on Switch now.
Yeah.
But
We'll get your
like,
example.
something like that on the go.
Or a Super Lucky's Tale or Ori, because that's supposed to...
Not very
Or-
on the go if it's on Wi-Fi though. If you're streaming it.
That's
You're
what I'm
talking
saying,
about
like,
downloading.
for
I'm sorry.
downloading.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Misunderstood.
it just the on the go is just you hanging out in Starbucks playing your Switch.
Yeah.
If the connection's even enough to stream it,
Yeah.
Yep. That's the problem.
it's not.
Yeah, we need to get. If we had it like Japan, where like super great Wi-Fi was everywhere, this would be I mean, it's still going to be fantastic, but
Yeah.
how many people can actually stream like a big 4K awesome game without any hiccups? Because I mean, Japan's not a very big country. The United States of America is massive.
It's one of those things. It's really going to depend on where you are. So that's why it's hard to make like broad decisions like this when, it's so variable.
I just thought of another potential plus for Microsoft for the Game Pass on Switch thing.
What's that?
Breaking out some in Japan.
Ah,
Very
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
It's a good point.
Get some of that market.
Just Japanese people seeing the Xbox logo at all, just on their
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah,
Make
they-
them a lot more aware.
They don't like Microsoft over there. They might not even.
They'll be like, "What is this
Nah.
Xbox?"
I mean,
I mean, they might see, assuming it's, this is all real and it goes over like, hey, decent price for a whole bunch of games to stream. Cool.
Why not?
Yeah.
they might go
Yeah.
for it. You never know.
I didn't think about it, Jeff. That might be their foot in the door
Yep.
for Japan.
Also, just something else to go along with these rumors is a smaller thing. This comes from Brad Sands from Furrot. He had a lot of the same stuff that was in the job video stuff, but he had a little more stuff about Halo. So last year, the company teased Halo Infinite, and that title will be a launch game for the upcoming hardware. With brand new game engine, the team behind the game is trying to make the story adapt to decisions the users makes, and the game may have more RPG elements than prior versions of the series.
Ooh,
Which-
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I've seen kind of mixed things about that. Just kind of the whole thing of, everything has to be an RPG now.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, as someone who's kind of fell off of Halo, like I played through Reach, but then I didn't play anything after that. Something I feel like Halo needs some spark like that. Like it needs something to be like, hey, this one's different because X, and I think that could be a good, way to go.
it was just a teaser and showed nothing. But for some reason, I'm super interested in Infinite because I don't know. I guess the name that it's not like Halo 6 or whatever we're on at this point.
Yeah.
What interests me is like, is this a spinoff? Is it the next Halo? Is it different?
Yeah, and I'm not much of a Halo guy, so I'm not going to say much, but it looked like the way they were showing the world, it made it sound like this could be a more open world type thing, potentially a more open thing.
Even though that trailer didn't show much as far as like what the game actually is, it definitely seems like they're hinting that, you know, this is going to be a different Halo. They're definitely setting you up for it to be something different. There's a different vibe.
The RPG thing would tie in perfectly with that too.
What was that? I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit.
Like, if Halo Infinite is open world, the RPG rumor would that would tie in perfectly with it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft's they're just in an interesting spot right now.
I feel like a bunch of other stuff they're doing right now is setting up for next gen, where they're hoping they can get back on top or at least be competitive.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think Sony's more worried about the Switch at this point than they are about the Xbox One. And,
Yeah.
That's not...
Right
Nintendo
now,
hasn't been their direct competitor since... When did they stop trying to directly compete? Like, after GameCube? Then they just started doing their own thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Plus right now, it looks like all the sale numbers we know, right? Switch is about to catch up on the Xbox and surpass it.
That's Microsoft and the Switch are just going to become one.
Yeah.
And then take down Sony together. That's where we're
down for that.
We got the Nintendo X Switch. Here we go.
Oh, God.
All right.
The Switch X Switch.
That would be funny because
this is the
Microsoft
last
tried to buy Nintendo.
kind of Microsoft adjacent rumor.
Yeah, it keeps with the whole Microsoft Nintendo thing. Honestly, this isn't as big of a thing. But we're talking about a bunch of rumors, so why the hell not? Let's go from Alex Seedhouse from Nintendo Insider. Microsoft Studios confirmed that after careful deliberation, it had... Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot the date. They have a date at the beginning, January 9th, 2017. Microsoft Studios confirmed that after careful deliberation, it had come to a decision to end production for Scalebound. It was yet another high-profile Xbox One exclusive that, along with Fable Legends, Microsoft had chosen to pull the plug on. The natural reaction was one of widespread disappointment. None more so than creator Hideki Kamiya, who at long last had the chance to express the love that he once had for fantasy games in high school. After the early excitement that the project was met with when it was revealed on stage at E3 2014, Scalebound's abrupt end had left fans with more questions than answers. However, we be thankful that making Kamiya's dream a reality is far from over. I have confidence in my sources to report that it is my understanding that Scalebound has been resurrected as a project to be released as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Given Microsoft's previous involvement, it remains unclear to me whether development has been completely rebooted from scratch or, at the least, its ambition scaled back, seeing it is now destined for the nimble but less powerful portable home console. Further to this, I believe that Scalebound is likely to be the game that's thought to be dead that Nintendo's reviving, that Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan had hinted at on Kind of Funny Games a week ago. Although there is the chance that this could have been heard about a different project, that would be, different project.
Yeah.
Just a side note, speaking of Kind of Funny, anyone watching this, please recommend either of us to be on Kind of Funny's up-and-comers program.
Recommend both of us. There's 2 spots. Do both.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. I also told you to do Respawn Aim Fire before. Just do all 3
Yeah.
a bunch of times. So they have to put all 3 of us on there because
Yeah.
they just see it way too many times. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that. So yeah, what do y'all think about the potential of Scalebound?
I mean, it makes sense because it's a Platinum game, and Platinum Games is pretty tight with Nintendo nowadays, with Bayonetta and Astral Chain.
Also, Microsoft is pretty tight with them, and they might still own the rights.
Right.
I don't know if they do.
The whole rights thing has been what, people have been doubting this for. It seems to be just in a weird place. But, yeah, Microsoft and Nintendo are buddy-buddy. Potentially Microsoft could do what they need to do to make this, work for Nintendo.
Does the game Long Thought Dead mean it was canceled, or that it's like a franchise that we thought was dead, or is he just that vague?
I think it just was that vague. So this could mean it could not be. It could be Scalebound. It could be a bunch of things.
The dream would be that the dead franchise they're reviving would be Star Tropics, but I don't see that happening. I think Scalebound's more likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just it's a weird thing. I can't think of a game that was like canceled. It was going to be an exclusive to one platform, was canceled, and then switched platforms to like exclusive to another one. That's a weird
That's
trajectory.
crazy.
Now, to be devil's advocate as far as maybe this not being true, a bunch of things people brought up is maybe for the Scalebound rumor coming up is maybe Scalebound assets and that kind of stuff were used for Astral Chain, because some of it kind of, to a lot of people, is reminiscent of Scalebound. Also, the fact is Platinum Games is not the biggest studio ever, and they already have 2 Switch exclusive projects, and you would assume potentially like a sequel to Nier Automata and stuff like that. They can't make all these games, you would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also puts a damper on it. Is how does, unless Platinum gets the funding to hire a bunch of more people, I don't know how they're going to do this. They've got a lot on their plate right now.
And it's also, I mean, this definitely, once you hear Imran Khan say like, yeah, they're bringing back a thought, a franchise or a game that was thought long dead and it's coming to Switch. If you were someone who was going to fake this, Scalebound is probably what you would fake it with. It's the juiciest thing, so.
Oh, yeah.
The scene's relatively not that long ago, so I don't know what long dead would mean in that context, but.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I heard people say Project Hammer from back when they were talking about that on the Wii. I don't think it's that. I definitely don't think it's that. I mean, I barely remembered what that was when someone talked about it.
I still don't even know what that is.
But
Scalebound, I mean, it could easily work, but I just don't understand why, like, the internet loved it so much, because we learned practically nothing other than you're this kind of Devil May Cry looking dude riding dragons, which does sound awesome. But
I mean, I was about to say, to be fair, that sounds pretty awesome.
yeah, I think it was just a Kamiya fantasy game, so people got
I think his
excited
name
to
was
it.
like Doug or something weird. I mean, Doug's not
Like
a
Bowser.
weird name for a Platinum game. just,
I mean, if I could be a guy named Doug riding a dragon, I mean, no,
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh, man.
Well, maybe to also add some, stuff to this rumor potentially being true. Apparently, Alana Pierce, who's with Funhouse now, used to be at IGN, said she talked to someone who she trusts around E3 time, and they said Scalebound was coming back, but she didn't really believe them.
Yeah.
But this comes up, so.
Who knows?
Yep.
Find out. Probably at E3, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, depending when this happened, considering Scalebound was canceled just 2 years ago, we may not hear about this for a while.
Sure.
So who knows?
Don't know how much
You
of
wanna
the
just
assets and everything they
Say
kept.
This is happening. Do we need to read all of it?
Yeah, I can just kind of
Okay.
bridge it. Okay. Moving on to the next thing. We've been neglecting Papa Sony. So let's talk about one of their games. I'm gonna be abridging an article from Joe Scrubbles. Pretty much, Dreams is getting an early access thing, releasing early access in spring 2019. It will cost $30 or $29.99 US, and yeah.
So
You'll
it's
be able
happening.
to create. You'll be able to play all the fancy
Apparently,
stuff.
we'll have more than the demo had or the beta had.
Yeah, and people's stuff, as long as you did the proper things, creations from the beta will carry over to this.
Yeah.
The space is apparently limited, so if you want to get in on this, you'll have to do it pretty soon. And they confirmed in the Discord, unfortunately they didn't say in the actual blog post, that if you get the early access version, you will get the full version when it comes out for no additional price. So that's
So you can get Dreams for $30. What do y'all think about Dreams?
I'm interested, but I don't know anything.
I don't know what to think yet.
I'm not huge into the creation kind of stuff, but I like the idea that basically anyone can make any game and I can go play it.
Yeah, Dreams is fascinating to me. It's one of those that I think could end up really good or really bad. I think it's still very much up in the air. I think people are going to take that platform and make insane things with it. I mean, this is the most robust game creator inside of a game that we've ever seen for sure.
As someone who played it, it's pretty crazy. I got in on the beta, and The tools in there are crazy and kind of complicated, more complicated than I will probably be able to use without putting a lot of time into it. But there's some very cool stuff in there that you could play, and I think it will get a lot better once people actually spend more time on it, since the beta was only for a couple weeks.
I think the most impressive part about it, in my opinion, is that Little Big Planet was their previous franchise, and that was all platformers. You could make all the platformer levels, whatever, and that was cool. But it's all basically 2D platformers with little variation. I know there's a lot of Little Big Planet, but this you can make anything, and you can even you can make bushes. And you can put those bushes on the Dreams store or whatever, and people can download your bushes and not have to make a bush. So you can almost make your game that you want to make off of everything everyone else has made. So these complicated creation tools, if you don't want to mess with them, you can just be like, I like that tree, and put it in your game. From everything I've heard about it.
And honestly, that's one of the most exciting parts about it for me, is that people can specialize. It can be I just make music for Dreams, and it's you can go, I'll upload these tracks and you can do that. Or I'm really, really, really good at making trees. So yeah, it's
or
here's
just
my
making
trees.
models.
I specialize in shrubberies.
I specialize
That's
in
my
video
niche.
game shrubberies.
Yep.
Yeah, going back to Little Big Planet, considering some of the just amazing creations people came up with that limited tool set, I can't wait to see what they happen with Dreams.
But the other side of this coin that we always unfortunately have to go to is I also just don't see Dreams selling that much, and I just worry about them making their return.
I think they were right to abandon not necessarily abandon, but not go with a Little Big Planet 4, because Mario Maker's a thing now, so who cares? I don't mean that in a mean way, but I mean sales wise, a Mario game is gonna just do it. A Mario Infinite Mario game on a system that's selling well is gonna be ridiculous in sales.
Yeah, Mario Maker 2 is gonna sell gangbusters, because I think the first one already sold 5 million on the Wii U. I think I got that number right.
That's a number for a system that sold 14 million or so.
Yeah. So that'll be crazy.
Yeah. I just don't know enough. I like that people already remade the PT demo. That's pretty cool. And but like I said,
my biggest regret with the Dreams beta is I didn't take the PT demo and take it, because you can take levels and work on them and remix them as long as they put up there. Taking the PT one and then putting a T-Rex in there, because why not?
PT Rex, I like it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, let's move on.
This is probably another one we can just say is happening, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. This comes from Tom Warren from The Verge. I'll just release a little bit of it. Google is planning to hold a mysterious gaming-related event at the Game Developers Conference, aka GDC, next month. Google has started emailing invites to members of the media, inviting them to gather around for a Google Keynote that simply promises all will be revealed on March 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And, pretty much the main thing.
Yeah.
They've been hinting at gaming stuff for a while. They released their Project Stream thing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey last year. So, yeah. This could be big. It could be nothing. Who knows?
Yeah, I just really am interested to see, gaming is not an industry that has had we've had the same players for a very long time, and I think it's a really tall task for a company, even one as big as Google, to come in and to compete in the same product. I feel like Google is going to have to be something different, like the streaming service, or something. I don't know.
I don't really have any opinion on this.
The story is honestly more of, hey, this is kind of happening, and potentially get excited.
Yeah, maybe be excited.
If anyone can usher in the streaming future, it would be Google.
Yeah,
but
they're the company that actually has the money and the resources and the.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, are they going to put enough money and resources into this?
Right, how committed is Google to be a gaming platform? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah.
To be the negative Nancy here, I am kind of getting a Ouya type vibe from this.
I absolutely think we could be in for Ouya type of situation, 100%. I mean, I just don't know if there's enough room for, especially if they come out there at GDC and say we have a box. I'm gonna be like, all right, no, guys. Like we have a normal box that's just like the PlayStation, Xbox. I'm like, we don't need this. We don't have room for this. Like, it needs to be something else.
And then they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusive on there.
Oh God damn it!
Man, that would be garbage.
I guess that would be the what you found it, Jeff. You found the one way that I would be buying their Google box.
That'll also be an interesting thing.
I was gonna say, quick side note, that being your favorite game of all time, how do you feel about the remake? What we've seen?
I mean, I think the like 2 trailers we've seen has looked cool, but I'm not at all convinced that those trailers were real.
Yeah.
I mean, they were 3 years ago at this point.
I think those trailers were just like manufactured to have something to show. Like, I'm not convinced that that's anything, that was legitimately playable stuff. I think this game has obviously been tortured.
Oh, sorry, I don't get your hopes up too much. I'm sure you've seen this, but in Square Enix little financial thing or whatever last month or whatever, they did say they expect a big boost around the second half of this year.
Oh God, Jeff, don't do this.
And it's either
I heard somewhere the director of Kingdom Hearts hinted that it was further along than we think.
yeah, so it's either Final Fantasy VII Remake or the Avengers game. It has to be one of those. I can't see it being anything else.
Nomura said that he was 100%. Like, he was working 100% of his energy into Kingdom Hearts and 100% into Final Fantasy VII. I don't think that's how percentages work, but that is what he said.
You don't understand is Nomura is a god, so
I mean, to be honest, Kingdom Hearts 3 makes me feel a little bit better because that was also a tortured game with Nomura at the helm, and it came out all right. So maybe
made fans happy.
Maybe
Between Avengers and Final Fantasy VII Remake, what do you think is more likely to appear at E3?
Avengers.
it has to be Avengers, but we've been saying this for so long. We've been saying every single major gaming event. We're like, okay, they have to talk about
Final Fantasy VII, but they've scrapped it since then. And I don't know, give us both if it's ready.
Honestly, someone brought up a good point for it not being Avengers recently. I can't remember the exact time frame. They brought up the Avengers teaser was only like 2 years ago or something at this point, and they made it sound like it might have been early on in development. So it may be farther along than we think, and we're just impatient and just used to.
This would be the best year to launch it.
I agree 100%. I want to be wrong, or this person to be wrong.
A bad one.
I don't think it'll launch. I think they'll have a trailer for it to kind of piggyback off of Endgame's popularity and get people excited for it. But I don't think it'll launch. I do think we'll see it at E3 though.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, if Square Enix has another E3 conference and it doesn't have Final Fantasy VII or Avengers for the second year in a row, they just need to stop.
But Jeff, they'll have The Quiet Man 2. Get excited.
That was one of their 2 big announcements.
That was like, to its credit, that was fit with the theme of being the quietest release of last year.
Yeah, I found out that game came out like a month after it did.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping.
But
one of those two.
But here's the thing to remember during Final Fantasy VII. It's apparently supposed to be episodic. So it may not be done, but episode 1 could be done.
I hope they scrap that.
Yeah,
I don't disagree, but this is what we know so far.
This is just like, I'm finally going to feel what Jeff felt like, where he's like, no matter how Kingdom Hearts 3 turns out, I'm buying it day one and playing through the whole thing, and I'm in the same way with 7 Remake. It's like,
have to at that point. Unless
I'm obligated to do it, yeah.
Unless they announce something ridiculous for it, like they've cut Vincent and Tifa out or something weird.
Or like limit breaks cost real world money.
Yeah, you got to pay $2.99 to use the limit break. That would be a way to not buy it.
They come. We've changed Final Fantasy VII Remake into Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale. 100 clouds drop on the island.
There's actually
he's the most interesting one.
There's actually a romance system where, depending on who you date and everything, changes who dies.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's not just Aerith.
But
It's like
I
yeah.
It could be Tifa. It could be Barrett.
I could kill K-Sith.
I mean,
Exactly.
everyone knows that Barrett is the best romance option. That is
Yeah.
canon to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we could talk about how Final Fantasy VII Remake could be horrible for the next 3 hours if we wanted to.
Yeah, I meant that to be a quick aside. I'm sorry.
No, no,
That's fine.
you're good.
Those kind of asides are the best conversations to be had on these kind of things.
100%. And I love Final Fantasy VII to death, and I equally love trashing it. There are a lot of like weird stuff about that game.
Okay, let's move on to the final news story. NPDs for this month. Let's go.
Give me that sales news, Jeff.
Yep. Well, as always, this information comes from Matt Piscatella.
Who you should follow. He's a good follow.
Yep. Get a lot of juicy sales data.
But Jeff, how about this number one?
Number one, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best-selling game as far as dollar in the U.S. in the month of January. And here's some extra information. Total launch month dollar sales of Kingdom Hearts 3 were 2 times that of the previous franchise best, Kingdom Hearts 2. And Matt Piscatella also posted on Resetter that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the second biggest launch month for a Square Enix game in history, only behind Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
That was a shocking one.
Yeah, it had been so long. I wasn't sure how Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to sell. Because I was like 14 or something when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and I haven't played one since. And then I was like, ooh, 3. You've got me now.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear numbers whenever they, put those like in it. Last we heard it shipped like 5 million in the first couple of days or whatever. So,
It's great, especially for a game that was just so tailored towards its niche of fans.
Only Kingdom Hearts fans.
It's almost like it accidentally sold this much because they were definitely not trying to pander to new people. They're just like, no, we're making this for the fans.
Derby.
I'm very surprised because it's almost like they were wanting it to not sell because they were just like, if you don't like Kingdom Hearts, this is. I mean, they didn't say this, of course, but if you don't like Kingdom Hearts, this is going to be garbage for you. Is what it seemed like with all the trailers about who's this character, why are they talking about darkness and hearts and all the ridiculous stuff. And
I mean, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, I've said this over and over again. It's a beautiful thing, but, like, it shouldn't exist. For Square Enix to have the Disney property, and instead of, like, yeah, let's make this so that everyone who loves Disney will get this and love it, it's like, no, we're going to make this for this contingency of people who love our wacky-ass JRPG story. And I love it. I love that this exists, but it's so weird.
Now, the thing
it's
is,
so
Darby,
strange.
it obviously sold to Kingdom Hearts fan, but also sold to Disney fans who don't know better.
And probably, weren't happy with it. They're like, oh, God, what's going on?
What is this? What's a nobody?
what do you mean? What's an unversed? What is this now?
I picture some little kid who just only watched Frozen, and there's like a big Frozen fan. They're like, oh, I hear Frozen's in this,
pick
and they
up
buy
that dude
it.
in black and throw him in a million doors. I don't understand.
What does Norden mean?
Why is everyone Xehanort?
What is Xehanort? Why are their eyes yellow? I don't understand. I don't have it memorized, dude. I don't know what's happening.
All right, number 2 best-selling game of January, Resident Evil 2 Remake. And it had 2.8 times higher dollar sales than the launch month of the original Resident Evil 2. Not too surprising.
Not at all. I played the demo, and it was really like high quality, but I got scared and never bought it and deleted the demo.
Fair enough. Fair
Shoot a
enough.
zombie in the head, they should die, and he chomped my throat off. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. We actually did a little Let's Play for it that, people can see on our YouTube channel. About it. It was my first time really playing a Resident Evil game other than like an hour or so of 7. But yeah, that was the weird thing. It's like, why won't they just die?
I mean, Jeff was getting like headshot after headshot, and they just kept walking at him. I'm like, geez.
And they go down, and then I walk away a little bit. Then I kind of go back, and then that same one.
If it's one of those
attacks
weird
me.
with his
No, that's
brain
fun.
that crawls on the wall and like whips his tongue at you, I understand if they take a little longer because that's a special type. Or that big hulking Mr. X dude following you. Yeah, he's going to take a few, but regular old zombies, I shot him in the head and turned around and went to kill his zombie friend, and he's still alive. I was like, what's happening? Oh, God.
I'm planning on getting this game a little later on, but obviously it came out around Kingdom Hearts. So.
But obviously, this is not quite the level of sales of that one. But 2 straight years, 2 straight really high quality, really good well performing Capcom games for the first part of the year.
Yeah.
With Monster Hunter World selling insane, and then now Resident Evil 2. It's just wild to see how far Capcom has come back. You know.
Yeah, for a while people were calling them Crapcom and all kinds of mean names because honestly they deserved it. They basically let Mega Man die. They're trying to kill Street Fighter. And they're
slapping ads on Ryu's face.
They were doing so poorly with their franchises, and then completely turned it around. Like, I'd never been interested in Monster Hunter before, but World was amazing. I got it, and we played the crap out of it, and it was great.
Yeah, we're still going through it now. We played a good amount of it time-wise, but I think we still have a long way to go. But we're loving it. We're just playing it with a group of friends.
We tried to cap for one of our videos where we did counting down the best boss fights in our opinion from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We had to recap. We had to capture us fighting an Anjanath, and we were so rusty. That thing obliterated us. We're like, okay, let's go find a smaller hunt real quick to get it back in the groove of this.
And that thing attacks you from the very first thing. You're trying to fight this low-level enemy, and then suddenly this giant T-Rex comes in and wrecks your shit. Sucks.
Be interesting. Capcom should continue the reign of terror in March with Devil May Cry.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if once we get NPDs for that, we hear best launch of a Devil May Cry game. Seems fine for that.
Will be. Devil May Cry is great. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I kind of wish I had just waited on Metro Exodus. It's just waited for Devil May Cry, but oh well.
That's what it is.
All right, let's just blow through these and get to the Pokemon talk, Jeff.
Okay.
That's what the gentlemen are here for.
Okay, number 3, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. No digital sales. Launch month dollar sales of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe were more than 30% higher than that of New Super Mario Bros. U. So continue the trend of Switch ports selling better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, of course. No
surprise.
PC digital sales. 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, no digital sales.
No surprise.
Number 6,
sorry.
Sorry, I think it cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
I was just saying no surprise for Smash Brothers Ultimate selling.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I won't interrupt anymore.
Oh, no, you're fine.
No, it's fine. I was just making sure it was
he said
cutting out a little.
It, so.
Let's see. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Set a new franchise record as launch month dollar sales totaled more than 80% higher than October 2007's Ace Combat 6, Fires of Liberation. I didn't know it was that long since the last Ace Combat.
That's a long time.
That's a big jump.
Big percent higher, too.
Yeah. It seems like there's a lot more hype for this one for some reason.
Yeah. I think I've heard good things. I can't remember.
No.
Or mixed things. I don't know. Number 8, NBA 2K19. No surprise. Number 9, Mario Kart 8.
Hanging on.
Yeah, no digital sales. That will continue selling the whole Switch life for sure. Number 10, Grand Theft Auto 5. That will continue to sell the rest of our lives.
I just love it. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out and it's selling crazy and gets on the top 10, but GTA 5 doesn't push GTA 5 out. They just have 2.
No. And last game on here that we're gonna say number 12, Tales of Vesperia.
Heck yeah, feels good,
edition. Man. Yeah, feels good. And so some hardware information. Nintendo Switch was the best-selling hardware platform of January 2019 in both dollar and unit sales. Switch was the only console platform to show year-on-year sales growth. This is also the best January performance for any hardware this generation. Switch be selling.
Yeah. Nintendo. I said it's something about Capcom being back. It seems like everyone's come back from the brink of, for lack of a better term, the dark ages, except for Konami.
I was about to say Konami, but that's the one left. Yeah,
they go deeper into the abyss.
Yeah, they try to dig themselves out, and then they just get a bigger shovel and keep on going down.
Until Metal Gear Survive 2 comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Goaty 2020.
Yeah. All they really need to do is make people kind of happy and just let Platinum make Metal Gear Rising 2. That's what the people want.
give a new Castlevania or any. They just need some goodwill really badly, and I don't think they're going to get it anytime soon because they, for the past few years, have been awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have Bloodstain coming out and making the Castlevania game that they won't make.
You forced out the man that basically started your company, or not started it, but built it, and ever since, like, no, F these guys. No.
As the closest thing to good Konami will we've gotten is Simon being in Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's sad. Alrighty, well, Jeff, let's get into our main topic. I'm excited for the rest of you guys. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a back seat, but y'all are going to talk about Gen 8 Pokemon. And for what I've seen of BroTrio, it seems like you guys are pretty big Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching your rankings earlier, and I think Jeff approved them for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, with Pokemon, it's like one of those things where it's kind of like you guys said with the Final Fantasies, which one was your favorite, which one you started with is like typically which one you like best, because like some of these younger kids like the Owen like generation and the best and everything, but Pokemon, all I know is like everyone is super excited for Gen 8 because it's going to be on Switch.
Yep.
And potentially is going to be freaking massive.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's like a huge continent.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're fine. It's the way, talking over the internet. It's kind of, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it's no problem.
It's no one's fault.
You go ahead.
Yeah, like I'm kind of this is just out of my head, but I would love to see it set in like an India type country. Mm-hmm. And just like massive mountains that you can go explore, like all kinds of different weather and biomes, and just something we haven't seen before. And the culture is especially different than other things we've seen before too.
Yeah, and that is what they typically try to do, is like change it up with the culture and
because like that one was just like, hey, we're in France.
Yeah, and obviously Sun and Moon was based on Hawaii and stuff like that.
Well, with the notes here you gave us, I don't know. Did you want to go in this order with the general thoughts and all that?
No, it's just kind of maybe just talking points, and then we can just go off and just go where the conversation naturally takes us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you watched our rankings, if you remember, Sun and Moon went pretty high up there.
Yeah.
we all three really like Sun and Moon. We thought that would be the most contentious one to be up there because those games got a lot of hate when they came out. I was like, what is everyone's problem? This is super fun.
Well, it's because they were different.
And I mean, they were a little easy, but Pokemon hasn't been difficult in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if it was ever difficult or if I was just a dumb kid. I wish Sun and Moon was
definitely harder, but I appreciated them trying to do something different. And I just kind of like the general upgrade, I guess, with the region itself feeling, I don't know, it made it seem like more distinct from the other regions and the way it looked.
Yeah, it really did.
And, Let's Go I had a lot of fun with, but it's not a direction I necessarily want to continue unless they just keep making remakes. Mm-hmm. Like if we get a Let's Go for Gen 2 and Gen 3, I'd be down for that for a stopgap between the new generation. But
honestly,
I don't want to have to buy a new Pokeball.
A video from when Let's Go was announced where I just kind of rant on Let's Go for like 30 minutes.
It's like a 30-minute rant, and I'm sitting here trying to like put out the fire. I'm like, Jeff, but it's okay, and he was very
it was. I thought it was fun. I thought it was charming. I love seeing the Pokemon wandering around in the world, and the feeling of actually having a Pokeball in your hand and throwing it and catching a Pokemon was cool. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to buy a Pokeball controller to get Jirachi. I don't want to buy a controller to get the mythical Pokemon of every generation. Mm-hmm. I won't do it.
I have to imagine they're not going to try to do the Pokeball thing again. At least I would hope.
Yeah, because they have to assume at least a lot of us that wanted one are already going to have one.
I want to know what the attach rate is for Pokemon Let's Go and Pokeball Pluses.
Yeah. I guess, we got Pokemon Let's Go sales from Nintendo's earnings report. I guess we didn't get the Pokeball thing, so at least that I saw. Well, that'd be an interesting thing to see.
I mean, overall, I thought it was a really cool piece of tech, and I liked especially the HD rumble in it when the Pokemon are trying to struggle out of there. Felt really good. Like it felt like a thing was in there, and kind of made me feel bad a little bit. Now I'm feeling like I'm actually trapping this thing. But overall, I enjoyed Let's Go, but there's not much of that I want to carry over into Gen 8.
Yeah, my whole thing with Let's Go was I'm fine with it kind of just existing or whatever, but just the thing is, it seems like it's with the whole like Sun and Moon being easy and in ways being easier than some of the other games, worried that since Let's Go just seemed easier, they'll just continue in that direction. So I might feel a lot better about Let's Go and its general just after we see Gen 8 and what it takes from Let's Go and what it does and all that kind of stuff.
I'm expecting a bigger but also more traditional Gen 8. I don't think it's going to be like action RPG like a lot of people are wanting. I don't think it's going to be Breath of the Wild size, but I think it's going to be a nice size continent and hopefully a little more open than the last ones. Like maybe you can tackle the gyms in any order that you would like. And the gym leaders scale to your level.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And the wild too.
Yeah.
But as far as what I want, I'd like maybe an England type setting. I think that would be pretty cool. Like it can't be straight up England, but they'd have like a mock Big Ben, kind of like a X and Y. I forget the region name. They had the Eiffel Tower.
Lemoyne.
To be honest, I didn't really know that about Pokemon. Has every gen been kind of based off of a specific region loosely?
Loosely.
After, I know it's in Black and White and at least.
Well, Kanto is a region of Japan, if I'm not mistaken, for the first.
And Johto is too, I believe. They're both just kind of Japan. And Hoenn and Sinnoh, I don't really think has an exact location. But yeah, after that, they kind of have more
Sun and Moon location. Is straight up Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one at least. That was the obvious one, yeah.
X
they
and Y
gives that one away.
And I just think that'd be cool to have I don't know, knightly looking people running around. I don't know. I just think it would be a cool place that they haven't really been yet, as some kind of England inspired thing.
Yeah, I'm open to any location. Yeah, I guess it's different. The India and England idea sound great to me. I'd be perfectly okay with those.
Honestly, historically, it could be both.
Yeah. The British Empire. Sun never sets on it,
One thing I want is I want them to take this from Let's Go and keep the Pokemon on the map. Maybe have them and wild encounters, but I still want the Pokemon to be walking around the world because it's a small thing, but it made it feel like much more lived in.
Yeah, that's one of those Let's Go things where I'm like, keep that. I'm perfectly okay with that. That's a good thing, and that's something a lot of people want it, and I perfectly understand it. I kind of like doing Nuzlocke, so I'm not against the idea of potentially having a little switch to do either or if they keep it like Let's Go, where the grass is still there.
Yeah. If a tiny purple rat surprising you in the grass is one thing, but when you expect me that I didn't see this 11-foot tall rock snake monster, I mean, yeah, I'd see that coming a mile away, man.
It snuck up on you.
Yeah. So these I really like the Pokemon just wandering around the world, and hopefully they even improve on that a little bit. Have them a Spearow being hunted down by an Ekans or something weird don't necessarily show the Ekans getting a hold of it because that'd be a little dark for a Pokemon game.
Yeah, just running around in circles.
Yeah, like the Ekans tries to strike, the Spearow gets away or something. Yeah.
Maybe if you're fast enough, you can catch both of them.
Oh, that'd be cool. Now, I want it to be... I don't know what I would want for gameplay changes, because in some ways I want it to... Well, mainly more open is what I would want, because I don't necessarily want it to not be turn-based, but I also want it to innovate, and I don't know what the balance there would be.
The whole thing with the changing the gameplay thing, I'm open for them to change the gameplay as long as it's fun. But the thing is, with the whole competitive Pokemon scene, I feel like that kind of deters them from changing it in a major way.
Maybe they could somehow keep competitive the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
honestly, a lot of games do this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pokemon just gives you the option of like easy, hard, or normal.
Difficulty, select, I won't.
Also a very welcome one.
And I would like to see mounts return, of course, from Let's Go. To get around the world a little quicker, especially if they make it bigger like I'm wanting. But I want the bicycle as well. I don't want riding Pokemon or bicycle. I want both.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some kind of cool like side mission structure with like a lot of side missions. Like this kid's like, hey, my favorite Pokemon is Sandshrew or whatever. Can you go catch me a Sandshrew? You go get him a Sandshrew and he gives you, I don't know, money, Pokeballs, whatever. But it would have to be in a quest log, like in modern games, not just like you turn off the game, you forget you're supposed to catch that kid at Sandshrew, so you never get the reward. And that's about all I can think of for gameplay, because I can't think of too much that would change it that I would like.
Yeah, I mean, like Game Freak and Pokemon Company, they know what they're doing, and I kind of trust them just to churn out another Pokemon game, because I like the formula. I don't think it needs changed that much. But the one thing I do hope, especially since it's coming to a home console, which is more powerful so it can be bigger, is that they mix like traditional with Sun and Moon, and we have trials and gyms.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That could be interesting. Yeah, mix it up, have both in the game. Yeah, that's kind of one thing. Like, take advantage of it being on the Switch. I know Let's Go was technically the first Pokemon console game, whatever, but it is a straight remake of Yellow for the most part. So yeah, hopefully they experiment a little. Having both trials and gyms could be really cool.
I would want this game to visually remind me of Dragon Quest XI.
That's what I kept on thinking. Like visually, it's like if they made it like Dragon Quest XI, that'd be the dream.
Yeah, I think the graphics are going to be more along the lines of what we've seen with their teaser of Town.
Yeah, that was a whole big thing of Town. People were more excited that the fact Pokemon could look more like that than the actual game.
Yeah, poor Town. I mean, when you see the creator of Pokemon made it, you kind of are overshadowing yourself in a way. I'm very interested in Town, but I don't know. I mean, no one knows what it's going to be like. We had a 40-second teaser for it.
Yeah.
But
should
as
be
far as
beginning more soon,
direction goes, I want a rival that's mean again.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the interviews with Let's Go, that sounds like something that may not happen.
Yeah, because
Hound's just too nice.
Blue's getting away from me. He's like, hey, I know you just got out of this cave, but I'm about to fight you anyway with my fully healed team. That was like some of the most intense game moments of my childhood. It's like you get out of Mount Moon or whatever, and Blue's just like, hey, smell you later. Let's fight. So you have to fight him with your ragged, almost dead team. And like, there were so many times when just like my, Charmeleon or whatever basically carried me through that battle, because I was trying to level up my other ones through that cave, because the starters always over leveled at first in my playthroughs at least.
Yeah.
And they were all half dead, and I was like, good Lord. So he pulled out his war turtle. I was like, what am I going to do here? And you can have two rivals, like Sinnoh had two rivals, but make one nice and make one mean. That would be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and the rival in my favorite Pokemon generation, which was Gen 2, was straight up a thief. And there was an animated short that the Pokemon Company released later confirming he was the son of Giovanni.
Yep.
So that's real cool.
Yep. I first found out that in the... I think I heard they referenced it in the games, but found that out in the Pokemon Adventures manga.
I don't remember if they brought it up in the games at all, but...
I think it might have been just like a little, maybe like book or something you read that it mentions Giovanni's son has red hair or something. They may not like outright say it.
I want Mega Evolutions to stay. I like the region variants. I'd like to see more of that, but more that aren't from Gen 1.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing against Gen 1. Gen 1's one of the best, but I want to see other regions get regional variants as well.
Right.
And Z moves, I can take or leave. I won't use them. I might not use them if they're there. I might if they're there.
They're pretty cool, but I forgot about it.
I mean, the best one is Snorlax because he opens his eyes and jumps and does a cannonball and makes a giant explosion. And if you can make the game hard, maybe that would make Z-moves more worth it.
That's
if you can set it to hard mode, you might need them for like your last ditch effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of all that. Mega evolutions, they have it in there if they want to. I'm more interested in region variants, and have more than just Gen 1. Maybe have no Gen 1 that to get a variant and just have it spread out through the rest of the generations.
Yeah, I think they've shown enough regional variant love to Gen 1, and definitely, because there's other Pokemon that really deserve it and could be very unique, especially if they did it to some of the starters and turn Cyndaquil into a water Pokemon or something.
Oh, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
We don't need another icy watery hedgehog. We got that with Sandslash.
One thing I'm hoping that we'll get is at least one new Eevee evolution.
Yeah. Well,
it is an even generation, which tends to be when we get them.
There's a bunch of unused types like dragon and bug and
I want
fighting, flying.
Yeah, I want an evolution of every type. It would be the dream, but that's not going to be for a long time.
Espeon is your favorite Pokemon, isn't it, Jeff?
It is.
Yeah.
It's not one you often hear. That's my favorite evolution, I believe. So
nice. Yeah. They just need to top it off when they get through all the types and just have a normal evolution. Just a bigger, regular Eevee.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Eevee just straight evolves and just big, beefy fox, squirrel, whatever you
it's
define
kind of
Eevee as.
A fox version of an Arcanine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just towers over all the other ones.
Since you brought up even generations, wait, is it odd generations or even where there are fossils? Oh, it's odds, isn't it?
Fossils are in pretty much every generation except 2, and they're not in Gold and Silver and Sun and Moon.
Well, basically,
so we need fossils back.
I want fossils. Is all I'm leading to.
We want fossils, and we want different kinds of dinosaurs.
We finally got a T-Rex after all these years. Give me my Ankylosaurus.
Well, speaking of stuff we finally got, something we haven't had, which is crazy, is we haven't got a dolphin Pokemon yet.
We were just talking about
that.
I was trying to think of an animal they hadn't used yet for a starter.
It's hard, man.
That'd be a good water type starter.
Yeah, and dolphins are appealing to a lot of people, so do that.
Yeah.
Now, I hope they wouldn't go the way they went with Poplio and stuff, because I could see them just going overly cute with a dolphin.
Yeah.
And with a starter, they should at least look kind of badass at their third evolution.
Mm-hmm. Well, all I hope is if the fire starter is on 4 legs, they don't make it bipedal by the end.
Yeah, keep it 4 legs. I agree.
Don't make him stand up.
Much as I like Incineroar, I was looking forward to a giant fire tiger.
And
same.
Firefighting and Fire Dark, those have been done.
Yeah, give me some new typings. It was firefighting forever.
And when we saw Incineroar, I think we saw his design, it leaked out before we saw the type and everything. Of course, we all thought, oh, another firefighting. Yay.
So happy he was dark.
Yeah.
Firefighting is a ludicrously strong combo, don't get me wrong, but I don't want it anymore. We've had a lot of those.
Yep.
Litten was so cool. It was a bummer what Litten turned into. I'm such an outsider, but I just thought Litten was cool and Incineroar was not.
He got angry.
Because I was honestly jealous of Scotty's, because I was like, man, Litten seems so much better.
Yeah, he's a little fire cat. See, there's 3 of us, so we always fall into our same roles. I'm fire, Daniel's grass, and Aaron's water, so we can all have all 3 between us and breed them and whatnot. And
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it worked out.
They're all our favorite types too, which is weird. Because we started that way. With Gen 1, I picked Bulbasaur, and I've been grass for life.
It sounds like you planned it, but it seems like something you would have planned. But that's cool if that happened organically.
Yeah, every now and again I get jealous because I did in X and Y I didn't care for Fennekin.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a fan. I was like, I don't want this, but I didn't like any of them really. But then Greninja happened, and I was like, "You're the winner here, water types." Good lord.
Yeah. I was in Gen 6. I liked them all, the first evolutions or whatever. I liked Fennekin a lot, but then of course they made it bipedal again.
Yeah, I liked what they were going with X and Y. How you had your rogue class, a knight class, or a fighter class, whatever, and a mage class type characters. I'm just like, man, I don't like.
Yeah, that was definitely cool.
So just all good starters is all I want, and Sun and Moon pretty much delivered that for me, except for Poplio. So yeah, just 3 good starters is all I want, and animals we've never seen, preferably, like you said, dolphin. We were talking about a dolphin earlier today.
That's so
Yeah, it's the obvious one at this point that hasn't been represented.
I'd like to see a fire-like spider, like a cute little tarantula.
Interesting.
That evolves into a nightmare.
We have Galvantula, so we have electric spider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't really think of too many animals they haven't covered, or at least some variant of that animal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me a horrifying spider that is lit, that lights.
Dope.
That's interesting.
Yeah, lights
I would
itself on
like
fire
to
to
see
fight.
Yeah,
But
I would
don't-
like to see some scarier ones.
Yeah, don't make it bipedal.
Yeah. How about with this fire spider idea, and it's a poison type, maybe.
Fire
Or I guess
poison?
maybe bug.
Fire
Yes.
bug would be kind of cool because it would take out one of his weaknesses.
Yeah, that'd be an
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I think anything for the grass type, but I'd say for the grass type, don't make it an animal. Make it like a straight plant, like Bellsprout kind of thing. I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Like a
Trying to think. Okay. I guess one other thing we could talk about. I guess you guys have seen the thing about the whole Pokemon Day thing that's coming up like this upcoming week.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually kind of have I mean, if you'll put on your tinfoil hats for me real quick for my...
We will absolutely put on
Always.
the tinfoil hats. We are always welcome.
If you follow the official Pokemon channel on YouTube, they have been putting out these videos every day for the past couple days, and it's like it started. And they're advertising the Pokemon TV app somewhat,
Yeah.
but if you recall, Pokemon Let's Go was kind of announced in secret because the Pokemon company just had a meeting and they were just like, "Hey, they're coming out." So I'm guessing Pokemon Day they're going to do the same thing for Generation 8. And I think these are leading up to it because it's like, visit Kanto, visit Johto, visit Hoenn, and visit Sinnoh. And I think they're going to keep doing that through the every other generation, and then they're going to have one to advertise like the game and the anime launching same day or whatever. That's like, visit this new continent, showing a lot of it off.
Yeah, that's really what I was getting at. Yeah, part of the anime thing, and also if you look back at the previous generation announced dates, at least for the last couple, they all happened by the end of February.
Right.
So we're about at the time where if they keep with the same schedule, we'd get a new generation announcement. So, and if you look at the Pokemon Day schedule, they have on most of the days a Nintendo Treehouse Q&A thing. It's kind of weird that they be going. They're flying from the West Coast to New York for just some random Q&A thing if they don't have a game to promote. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
so I'm hoping we get it this upcoming week.
Because they always announce it. They never leave it up to just Nintendo to announce it. So it's going to get announced soon and then shown off a lot at E3.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be one of the big games for sure. Probably like that in Animal Crossing.
I can't wait
Yeah,
for it.
I can't see Animal Crossing carrying a whole E3 booth. You know what I mean? I love Animal Crossing, but having a whole little town built and everything would be cool. People can explore the little houses, but I don't see that as a lot of E3s still have one game. I don't see Animal Crossing doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and depending, they may not do the whole focus on one game thing like they did the last couple years, because at the moment they got a lot of games that are coming out after E3.
A lot to talk about.
Let's see.
All right. You got more? Yeah.
Keep talking about Pokemon until it comes out if you want, but
Well, I mean, if you guys want, we could try to collaborate once Pokemon stuff does get announced. Because
100%.
well,
yeah.
because Darby's not going to be much of.
Yeah, Jeff needs other people to talk about Pokemon with, but yeah, we'd love to have you guys back on to talk more once things happen.
Guests on your channel or something to talk about it once we actually get some information.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we love that.
Yep. Oh yeah, and something I want to happen. I want to see if you guys would like it once we get new Pokemon designs out. I want to do something with Darby, just showing him the designs or whatever, to just get his reaction.
We did we're in the process of doing a series where we're doing a Nuzlocke run of Emerald, and I've never played a Pokemon or even really seen a Pokemon game at all. So going through there and like them just showing like us getting Pokemon, and I was like, I was so mad that I went my entire life and never knew that a Spoink was a thing. It's freaking adorable. It's the best.
You ought to pull up a bunch of Pokedex entries and make up a few and make him guess which is the real one.
Oh, that could be a good one.
Actually, game show type thing to see, like, to test our Pokemon knowledge, playing like who's that Pokemon and see if we can name all of them just by their silhouettes.
Oh wow, that's like 900.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Silhouettes.
Yeah, let's see how deep your knowledge goes.
But just off the top of my head, I probably can't even do the 151 of the original. Like, if you wanted me to just list them.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Yeah, as far as if they did silhouette for 151, I could do those, no problem.
But when we get to the Pokemon that's literally just trash, it's like a pile of trash.
Yeah.
It gets a little harder. Yeah.
Trubbish hate, but he deserves it because he is literally trash.
So we all come to the conclusion we want Pokemon Breath of the Wild, right?
Of
A
course.
complete overhaul, completely different game.
That's what I want, but I don't expect.
Yeah. Well, it's very exciting. I'm really happy to see. I'm really excited to see what the Switch first real console of Pokemon looks like, and to see, I don't know, to see if it catches people like me who haven't, who hasn't really.
Yeah, I guess
been
I was
involved.
thinking of asking this question, Darry. I wasn't sure, and I know I'm asking this out of nowhere. What kind of things would you like to see to potentially get you into this?
Oh, geez. I mean, I agree that I kind of want this to feel more like I am exploring this world. Like we said, Dragon Quest XI, obviously it doesn't need to be like that, is that type of thing. But I want it to feel like, I'm looking at this lush world that looks like a console game. That I would
Pokemon hopping around.
Right. I wanted to keep the Pokemon vibe that I've even from osmosis, Pokemon has definitely a charm and a vibe to it, but I would want it to feel a little more, I'd like to walk around in a 3D environment and make it feel like it was made for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of
Cool.
what I want.
That's what we all want, Darby.
All right.
Yeah,
do it.
just a huge alive world. That's what we want.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Where do you have anything to plug for people? People can find you at the BroTrio YouTube channel for sure.
I mean, that's pretty much it. We come out with new content as much as we can. We try to do 2 episodes a week, but between school and work, sometimes we don't. But generally,
we understand that.
one at least every week, typically.
Yeah, we definitely understand the trials of
Yeah, we
weekly
skipped
content.
weeks.
Yeah, we definitely have to skip weeks every now and then. Then we have the Emerald Pokemon Nuzlocke that was coming out every week, but that would kill me. It's that needs to be a little more relative. But yeah, so definitely go check them out. Hopefully we can get you guys back on for some more stuff. I had a blast. It was a really good time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, well, that's it. Check out all those things. Recommend us both for the Kind of Funny Up and Comer.
Yep.
I forgot, but they reminded me. So yeah, definitely do that. All right, thanks guys.
Bye.